Not since before the pandemic has it been this cheap to go to Walt Disney World and Disneyland. So why are they drawing this line in the sand and saying, please, whatever it takes, come visit us? Today we'll tell you what's really going on and why Disney is even giving away money in the form of discounts to count more people going through the turnstiles. Hello, friends, pals, and colleagues. Welcome yet again to the channel that puts others in a league that they don't want to be in simply by running circles around those who would give you a heavy dosage of pixie dusting and cupcaking, whereas we serve up the truth with a capital T. As we dive in today, talking about all the discounts, a deluge of discounts from Disney, folks, click the like button and we'll get on the task of bringing you the real reason why Disney is basking in a sea of, oh, please, will you take this for free? All right, folks, take a look at this. We have news from Disney Tourist Blog. Tom Brecker is laying out just all of the discounts Walt Disney World is up to. So for all of the hoopla, for all of the huzzahs, the hurrahs, and the hoorays that you're seeing today for Josh D'Amaro and his merry band of miscreant Imagineers, please know that they are doing anything they can to get guests near to the park. It says all 2025 Disney World discounts. Now, I'm going to skip down a little bit. And by the way, we love Tom. Tom is great over here at Disney Tourist Blog. Even when we disagree, we love Tom. All right, so here are the discounts. Hey, stay still, you. 3-day, 3 parks Magic Walt Disney World ticket deal for 2025. Get a 3-day, 3-park ticket starting at $89 per day. 50% off ticket deal for Cool Kids Summer at Walt Disney World. Families can save on summer fun. Save 50% on kids. 3-day or longer standard Disney theme parks. Rooms starting at $99 per night at Disney in summer 2025, but only if you're a Disney Plus subscriber, which costs $2 a month or whatever it is now. So there you go. That's a big deal. You can stay longer and save up to 30% this summer. You can stay longer and save up to 30% in the summer and fall. How long till winter? You can save up to 20% in late 2025. Plus, they'll give you $100 just for stopping on by. You want to keep going? Florida resident discount Disney. Save up to 40%. Save up to 35%. Save 30%. Florida and Georgia residents. You better open up to North Carolina and Alabama too. Rooms starting at $129 a night. I've never understood, by the way, why Alabama, which touches Florida, doesn't get in on that. Anti-Alabama, aren't they, Disney? Money-saving tips for buying Walt Disney World tickets. And it just keeps going and going and going and going. I'm telling you, I have never seen this many discounts for Walt Disney World for the summer and for the fall and for the winter. Like, it never stops. Vash, what the heck is going on? Why are we seeing a flood of massive discounts, even to the point that Disney is paying people now to come to the parks with the gift cards?
Yeah, 2 reasons why this is playing out. One, they've gotten the distinction, I guess, within the public zeitgeist that they are, the reputation, that they are very expensive. And so they're looking to kind of cut into that as much as they can because, I mean, it's just out there. It's out there in the news media. It's out there with our videos talking about how expensive it is. It's out there on the TikToks. It's out there everywhere. That is oppressively expensive. That's number one. Number two, they have nothing else to do to get people. They have no more levers to pull to get people into the parks. That's the biggest problem right there. I mean, usually you had a steady stream of tranches of investment, right? You had this steady stream of new capital expenditures that would keep people coming back in. They simply have not done that. Now, you would think, hey, as a short-term solution, maybe go ahead and up your entertainment spend, but unfortunately, they don't want to do that either. So they're looking to get as much out of the parks as possible from the clientele that they actually have coming in. They're not willing to spend on short-term fixes right now. They have long-term fixes, maybe possibly in the works, but we know that those are at least 3 to 4 years out. What do you do in the interim? What do you do in the meantime? The only thing you can do is give away the product, and that's exactly what they're doing. And they're doing that on both coasts, by the way. They just announced a new Southern California offer for Disneyland as well, and they've been giving out gift cards and all kinds of stuff like crazy on the West Coast as well.
That was a fantastic.
And consider that on the West Coast, they haven't got the competition. They just don't. I mean, when you figure all the stuff at Universal and
even
SeaWorld and everything else,
yeah.
But they still feel compelled to do it because, well, for one thing, gasoline is going to go to $7-8 a gallon very soon with the tax increases. And so even if you're local, and hey, when I was local, it was, a 30-40 minute drive down to Disneyland. What does that cost me now? What does it cost me to the big question is this. You guys would be better to do the math on this. I wouldn't even know how to begin. If you took Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom or any of the parks at peak and compared it to now as far as the closed or being refurbished or otherwise inaccessible attractions, what percentage of that peak would be left? And therefore, is a 30% discount on a ticket reflecting the 30% less stuff you get to do when you get there with that ticket? You see what I mean?
That's a fair point.
Yeah, it's certainly an admission of a value statement, right? Certainly an admission that we are just not going to be offering the same level of product that we had before, and that's how they do their ticketing or their.
And by the way, they're not discounting
pricing every single day as well.
Lightning, this and that, right? That's all still costing the full price.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're not getting discounts on that. Well, at least not largely. Go ahead, Jonah. Sorry, I think we cut you off there.
I think that's a fair point that Lou is making, but then there's also the people, like when you book a cruise a year in advance at the full price, and then they realize no one else is on that cruise, and they offer discounts to get people on. They don't necessarily go back and give a refund or a discount to the people who already booked at the rate that they would have wanted them to book at. This is one where they're hoping that people don't realize what's going on with the parks as they try to fill in with these discounts. Also, we've pointed out many times, just from a value proposition and a shareholder issue here, when Disney does discounts, they're doing temporary discounts because they don't want to say we're lowering the price of tickets.
Exactly.
That would imply weakness in the value that they're trying to put in the customer's minds. So if they ever did bring it up on a shareholders call, it would be, we have many levers that we can pull. And they wouldn't actually get into what those specific levers are because they don't want to say, we'll do free dining or something like that.
You know what this reminds me of? Have you seen that commercial that's running everywhere right now for this Trivago, where the three guys are there at their favorite hotel, and the one guy says, "Yeah, and I got it for only $250 a night."
Oh, I've seen that one.
And the other two look at him like, "What are you, a schmuck? We got it for $150 because we looked at Trivago." Well, what happens when people at the parks compare? How much are you paying for today? How much are you paying for today? How much are you paying for today? There will be some interesting revelations.
And especially when you consider the competition, not just across I-4, this guy's gotten far more competitive. They're offering value. They're offering things at maybe a lower price than Disney, or at least offering more value for it. It's just it's now become compulsory for Disney to do something. The only thing they can do is to give away the product, which is really unfortunate. They shouldn't be in this position, but because of years and years of bad decisions, maybe by people who understood that they weren't going to be there long enough to, reap the consequences of those decisions, that's why we're in this position to begin with.
So there's one other aspect I want to talk about in regards to all of these discounts and what is clearly obvious to us, which is that Disney is desperate to get people to attend their parks. Carrie, I don't know if you've paid much attention to the influencers that are around Disney and some of these other companies. One of the difficulties for them is, I'm sure they would love to talk about all of these discounts. For the influencers, though, if they start to kind of allude to why the discounts exist, they get in trouble because the thing that they're supposed to be promoting is getting demoted in the view of the public. Mm-hmm. And so what's happening here is that the influencers that Disney has out there, they're losing all kinds of credibility any and every time they avoid what's really going on, yet they can't because they're terrified they'll lose their special access for early little cupcakes and get to meet an Imagineer, and that's all they thrive on. So, Carrie, it seems to me like we're in like a downward spiral right now, and everybody kind of knows that Disney's going down in the theme parks, but the media, social media, doesn't talk about it. What do you think? And I'm sure you've seen this in other places as well.
going to say this is very similar to, I mean, I guess every industry is like this, because when you guys were talking about this, it was reminding me of back when I worked with comedians. So if we booked a live tour, if we had some city, some dates that weren't selling well, you know, maybe we sold half the theater at regular price. Well, then we would suddenly do like discounts, and we would try to come up with a PR way of spending it instead of saying, hey, we don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want the comedian to be embarrassed with like only half the theater full. We would spin it some other way of why we were doing this discount. Or at the end, if we still didn't sell enough of the discounted tickets, we would paper the theater. And that's where you tell the promoter, do free giveaways, give away as many tickets as you can, like in the last couple days. And so somebody asks, what if the people going to these parks compare notes about how much they paid? I don't think they really care at that point, because they've already gotten you in the park.
Right. So long as you've got a wallet when you walk in, they're happy.
Well, here's why I suggest they do care, or should.
They should.
You know, it used to be that if a story came out like that one about the $1,500 breakfast at Disneyland at the hotel, people said, God, is that crazy? But those people were crazy not to read the menu and see the price. What's wrong with them? It was a strange story. It got traction in the mainstream media, but it existed in a vacuum in an isolated incident. Now, with the general perception of, oh, it's getting more and more inexpensive and they're giving you less, every time one of those stories comes out, it's magnified hugely, because people's first reaction is, if that's what that costs, what the heck do the popcorn buckets cost? And what do the souvenirs cost? And that whole place is crazy, forget it. As opposed to, well, I won't go to that restaurant. See what I mean? It fulfills the prophecy of the general impression of being not worth the money.
The perception of not, providing value, the perception of that they're nakedly greedy. These were things that they were trying to avoid for decades, and they just cast those all out in 2020. Go ahead, Culture.
Culture, I want to ask you, though, because you have special knowledge on this, as you get ready to give your feedback, you're aware of just how empty Disney World is and why they're so desperate, to the point that they're giving away gift cards. They're literally paying you now to come to the park. Why?
They actually, because they have extreme vacancy. Even their rack rate versions of DVC rooms, DVC being the beautiful rooms. These are the places that you get 1, 2, 3 bedrooms, even studios that basically have
kitchen,
laundry services.
And the ability to make breakfast for yourself.
Exactly.
Justification.
Let me give you something that has never happened before that I've observed outside of 9/11 and, of course, the global crisis that we all suffered and got locked down for in different locations. But right now, just next week, if I wanted to, I could stay in a 1-bedroom DVC unit overlooking the savannah at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
For how long, Culture?
I could be there for 4 or 5 days directly, or longer, depending upon how many points I wanted to spend. But I could be in this luxury accommodation overlooking the animals that are in the paddock area that looks like a butterfly if you look at it from the top, between Kidani and Jumbo House. But I could stay there for the better part of a week, 4 or 5 days, and I can book that now. Like, I could go, like, starting, I just looked it up, starting on the, what is the state? Starting on the 20th, I could be there through the 25th.
So, Culture, Carrie was telling us what they do to try to fill the theater. If you've got a comedian that's not pulling the numbers they need, what does Disney do if that room stays vacant right up until the day that, nobody's there?
And that's the problem, right? Is like DVC, you only have X number of rooms set aside for DVC members. The rest you go out to hotel rates at rack rates, which is insane how much these rooms cost. And they just eat them. They eat that vacancy. And the thing is right now, and I've been sharing this with all of my friends in the circles that I'm in, there is vacancy almost the entire time, with the exception of like just a handful of days specifically, that I could find a room on Disney property in Florida in any of the DVCs, no problem. Whether it be a studio, a 1-bedroom, there are grand villas, which are 3-bedroom grand villas available across property for those exact same days. I could be staying in a 3-bedroom grand villa, a Savannah View. I could be staying in I mean, there's extraordinary opportunities here that you normally wouldn't think of. Like, I could stay at Saratoga Springs in a 3-bedroom grand villa right now for that same period of time. No problem. Old Key West, same thing. I could stay in a 3-bedroom grand villa there. I could stay in a treehouse villa. Actually, which is one of the specialty locations at Disney Saratoga Springs. That I'm just saying is right now, all room scales, 3-bedroom, 1-bedroom, studio, whatever, are available on property for next week, which is unheard of. Like, I could get on a plane.
Well, we're obviously recording this in the middle of October in the slow season, right?
Oh,
no.
Yeah, 100%.
Well,
No.
to illustrate this point, though, I mean, there were times, I remember DVC back in the day, right? Rooms would be booked out immediately. You had to wake up at 4 a.m. if you were a DVC member just to book rooms. That's how crazy it was. And that's why, that's to go off of Culture's point right here, that's why it's insane to see that these things are available a week out. Usually, they are not. Usually, they're gone. And some people actually bought into the membership in order to get advanced time from maybe, say, renting points in order to get a jump on these rooms because the demand was so high. Remember, there's 45,000 rooms on property or thereabouts. They have to keep those rooms full. And one of the ways that they were doing that was through the DVC program. And we have seen that fall off dramatically as well. Just to help the point there, Culture.
And whether they fill them next week or not, they've already scheduled the maids.
Yeah.
They've already scheduled the restaurant staff. Yeah. They've already scheduled the gardeners and the maintenance, which they cannot totally, just pull the plug on. So they have to presume an occupancy level that isn't happening. So the only way to fix it is to increase that occupancy level by discounting the price.
Carrie, we're watching not just Marvel, not just Star Wars, not just Disney animation, all of this stuff coming down. The last bastion of success was Disney World. And Disneyland, but really, I mean, Disney World brings in so much revenue, it's ridiculous. It's starting to fall now, and the headlines are not yet revealing that. How long does it take for the mainstream, lamestream, dinosaur going extinct media to catch up with reality?
Oh, that's well, they haven't caught up with reality when it comes to the entertainment they're putting out. So why would we expect them to do that with their theme parks? Like, they're still.
And the answer is, at what point does it threaten their own credibility in general? Well, which is the same answer to the question, when the hell is the investment community going to figure this out?
It doesn't seem to be stopping the influencers. It's already a detriment to them. Channels are leapfrogging the traditional Disney influencers, cupcakers, and we've got a suggested name right now out there that we're going to bring up on the screen a little bit. But it doesn't seem to have changed their sway. They're full on board. They're not giving up. So I'm curious to watch and see how long until the cupcakers, the pixie dusters decide, I'm being wiped out in my views, my subscribers, all of that.
But it's already happened, Pro. You've actually reported on the fact that a lot of people have already changed tacks and have gone to Universal with their channel and their offerings for the theme park.
That's
channels.
A good point. Yeah. All right, folks.
Well, there is one stick in the mud, however, and that's some guy who keeps calling himself WDW Pro.
Oh, you don't have to do that. Thank you, though. Thank you. We try here. All right, folks, we'll keep Disney accountable, and we do it for you because we believe you deserve a great vacation if that's what you want to do. Lots of families going to Universal instead. Is Disney dead? Not quite, but they're working on it, baby. They're working on it. Well, folks, we've come to the end of another video of pure excellence and fun. Explaining entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve. That's what we hope you believe we've just done. And why should you believe it? Well, because we've done our very best to make it so. To be true, to be factual, and to do what the mainstream, so-called access journalists simply won't. Folks, you can help share this out across the fruited plains of YouTube by clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, as we get ready to say sayonara for now, we ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep having fun.
Jump into the water. Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
So give them cannonball. Yeah!
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio.
Arizona. Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian ice freeze, yeah. Can't wait to be up. 3 days of you and me.
What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.